is Jasmine. I am the Prissy Hippie, and I'm going to share with you some tips on solo traveling. I'm always going to kind of focus on solo traveling, so let's just jump right into it. Got some notes over here, so if you see me looking down. First of all, I'm American, and if you are American, I would always recommend signing up for the STEP program. So it's the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, and you will get alerts on the places you're going. So you go ahead, you make a profile, and you type in you're going to Barcelona, Paris, and London. So, and it'll give you the dates and the ranges, and you'll type that in. You also can put in what hotels you're going to be in. You kind of like, so they can, if something happens, they can pinpoint you. Another thing where if you don't do this, you're crazy, because they will actually send you the alerts straight to your phone or your email, and it's like you'll know what's going on in the country. So you're not a native, you don't know what channel they're Fox or their ABC. You're not always going to be hooked up to where you can get Wi-Fi. Love this app is because when I was in Sweden, they had a Nazi rally, or something around those type groups. And if you can't tell, I think I kind of want to make sure that I'm not around the Nazi area. So I got that alert, and I quickly asked like a local, hey, how far am I from downtown? Because I needed to know. I needed to know if I'm like, oh, la 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 la, I'm getting some coffee, turn the corner, and there goes the Nazi freaking gathering. I need to make sure. They was like, oh no, you're far away from that. It's about 3-4 miles away. I'm like, okay, cool. I know to like stay away from the area. So that's my own experience. When I got that alert, that was the alert that I really needed to know. The next one, another thing is buy medical insurance. So I'll leave a link below. I always usually go through what do I usually go through? Blue Cross? Don't quote me, it's like Blue Cross Global. So I always buy medical insurance. It is not expensive at all. I think for the week when I was in Europe, I think I paid $18 for like, I don't know, $500,000 policy or something along those lines. It was something crazy, something affordable. So always buy medical insurance. Like, know your American insurance will not cover, or whatever country. If you're in the European Union, I'm not sure how that works. I'm speaking from American sense. It will not work unless you have some crazy policy, and you just never know what can happen. The worst thing that can happen if you're skiing in the Swiss Alps, or if you're I don't know, you're just doing something and something happens, is to always make hard copies of your passport before you travel. Make hard copies for your passport, scan it, email it to yourself. Also leave it with about 2 or 3 people that you are trustworthy with the States. I also do with my passport. I always leave with someone, my mom, my grandma, my boyfriend. I leave my copy of my passport in color. I leave a copy of my birth certificate. I always leave a copy of my driver's license, and that's usually what I leave. So always make a hard copy, because if you lose your passport overseas, you will be able to go to your nearest embassy and get emergency passport to go home. If you don't have any, if you just come up like, hey, I need a passport, my name is Jasmine, what's up, I'm American, they're gonna be like, they have to verify all that. So I don't know the process, but you don't have time for that. Your flight could be in, the next morning. You don't have time for that. If you have the passport, like, hey, they can automatically go in, get you emergency, and you're fine. So if you lose your passport or it's stolen or anything, just make sure you have those backup copies. And another thing to plan before you go somewhere, even if this is overseas or domestic, I always try to go to places when I land in the morning or in the early afternoon, just so you're not, especially if you're landing in a foreign country where you don't speak the language, shit get weird at night. So make sure you land in the day. I would try to say